All next week, I'll be at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. And if you can't make it, don't worry, because I'm going to take you along with me. If you don't already know, CES is one of the largest conferences in the world with an estimated attendance topping 130,000 visitors. Each year, there's announcements and unveilings of all the hottest tech trends. I'll be sure to publish a video next week with like all the cool gadgets and electronics that you might find useful for your home or your work, or maybe to buy for somebody, but that's not the biggest reason why I'm going. While most of the attention grabbing tech will be centered around like consumer gadgets or self-driving cars, maybe, there are other industries that I believe are set to break out in 2024. And today I'm going to tell you about three of them. And if these industries take off like I think they will, it will have a profound impact on investors who get in front of this major trend. The first industry I'm looking forward to showing you more about is robotics. Now, look, I understand robotics is nothing new. Many manufacturing industries rely heavily on robotic factories, and there are several consumer facing products these days that essentially a robot. And there's companies like Tesla and Boston Dynamics. They often grab headlines with their human like robot demonstrations. But I'm expecting to see an acceleration in robotic capabilities at this year's show. We're talking about moving away from these robot vacuum cleaners to far more advanced robots that will help reduce cost and increase profits at high profile companies. I'm particularly looking forward to Walmart's keynote on Tuesday, January 9th. It's going to be delivered by the CEO because Walmart has been investing for years in robotic technology for its fulfillment centers. Well, from an investment standpoint, it doesn't get much better than taking a really low, like thin margin business like retail at Walmart and layering on robotics to squeeze out fresh profits Wall Street hasn't even seen coming. Amazon has been making investments in this space for a long time, and it's one of the many reasons I believe the best days for Amazon and its shareholders is actually coming. There are also several other presentations related to like food technology and food preparation and automation. And look, it seems like every single time I take my little boys out to eat, the bill only gets higher and higher. We were like at McDonald's the other day, it was like 25 bucks. I couldn't believe it. So I fully expect to see more automation like in these kind of food environments, and that will have a profound impact on these stocks that rely particularly on human labor. And look, I know what some of you are thinking about with robotics. I hear you. I read the feedback, okay? Robots and automation can and will take jobs away from hardworking people. But the American dream, I'm going to remind everybody, the American dream is not flipping burgers and it's not packing boxes at Amazon. If my son came up to me and said, Dad, I'm going to grow up and flip burgers at McDonald's, I would say, well, that's fantastic, son. But maybe since you're only 6 years old, maybe let's set our sights a little bit higher. And the bottom line is if our Happy Meals and Amazon packages start to cost a little bit less, that leaves more money in our pocket to spend in other areas of the economy that can absorb some of the labor that's going to come out of the fast food industry and low margin Walmart, Amazon fulfillment centers. And look, that will help the economy overall. And so, look, I'm excited about robotics, but the next industry I'm very excited about as well is a real sleeper. I really actually don't see many people talking about this from an investment standpoint, but it's a huge opportunity over the next couple of years. And that industry is agriculture tech, or ag tech for short. Now, look, I live in the Central Valley here in California. It's home of one of the biggest and most prosperous agriculture regions in the world. So I know firsthand how important and profitable the industry can be. Some of the richest and well-off people in my town happen to be farmers, actually. But disruption is common in this region due to drought conditions, Mother Nature, or just simply mismanagement of water resources by typically politicians. So that's opening the door for new techniques and new technology to help solve some of these challenges that crop up all the time. One particularly interesting trend is indoor and vertical farming. I've been reading a lot about this. And so you have these large warehouses that are growing crops from floor to ceiling. It's incredible. And they're using innovative lighting techniques and planting techniques and using all kinds of technology to accomplish it. So these techniques are being used to grow crops in areas of the world where it simply wasn't possible before. And look, if farming can be brought to like a big city like Los Angeles or San Francisco or Dubai, or to just remote corners of the world, we're talking about a major shift in an industry as old as time. And anytime you have a major shift in an industry, major money can be made. So I'll be sure to keep an eye on this and keep you updated about this exciting trend. Now, the last industry to keep a close eye on is one you've probably heard of before. And if you've been investing for several years now, you may have actually gotten burned by buying into some of these stocks too early and when they went public. And in many ways, that's one of the reasons why I'm most particularly excited about 3D printing. Yes, at one time, 3D printing stocks were some of the hottest investments on Wall Street. I mean, it was kind of a regular segment if you were watching Bloomberg or CNBC. But similar to maybe like marijuana stocks, they've completely fallen out of favor. And when the hype just simply wasn't met with sales growth and profits, which ultimately is what Wall Street wants. Now, I believe the industry is about to move from kind of a hobby or a sideshow to a major manufacturing tool used by the world's largest product companies. Onshoring and reshoring manufacturing away from China in particular is probably the biggest reason this once exciting industry can really be reborn again in 2024. And the fact that many of these stocks have fallen out of favor with investors means there's a huge investment opportunity ahead if 3D printing is adopted by more manufacturers in the future. And so I'm going to keep you updated on these three specific sectors, but I'll also do a video where I show you all the cool gadgets, all the crazy stuff. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on next week at CES. I'll bring it all to you here on the newsletter and the channel. And so, as always, if you have any questions or comments, I read them all here on YouTube, on the newsletter. Anything that you send to me, I read, and make sure those questions come in, because here in the next week or so, I'll do another question and answer video. Well, I'll answer all your tough questions. Until then, I hope you have a fun and safe weekend, and good luck with your investments.